Okay, we are back, starting map 2, and again, to remind you folks, yesterday these two teams met, and 16-10 was the score, with Luminosity taking it. Now we're on Cobble, a different Titan has showed up. Duncan, your initial thoughts?
I still expect this to be close. I think definitely Luminosity can compete on this map. I don't think they're going to win it as comfortably as they did yesterday. I'm actually thinking Titan's going to 2-0 now.
Okay.
Again, I've seen enough overall from them today. Luminosity today's had a bad day themselves. They went 0-2 against Mouse. Now they're on a 3-map losing streak. This should be Titan's map anyway. It's not traditionally some sort of strong map for Luminosity. So I'm thinking as long as there's not some sort of T-side breakdown, I think Titan's going to win it and they're just going to 2-0 the series, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I called Titan to win this as well, based on what's been happening over the course of the day. So that would naturally lead it to be a 2-0. Luminosity are going to have to really dig deep here, I think, now. You know, Titan are in the ascendancy. Luminosity have now lost 3 maps on the bounce today. And they haven't even played particularly poorly. It's not like they're playing amazingly bad. It's little things that aren't going right for them. If they can win Cobble, they're in with a real chance of taking the whole series, though. So I still got my fingers crossed for my 2-1 prediction, but it looks like Titan have managed to just dig deep and find a way to win unspectacularly.
Well, and again, they've said themselves that part of the issue is like best of 3s. They can't close them out, you know. Like you just said, they got O2'd by Mouse Sports. So, and again, let's look at a poll. The world at home thinks that Titan's going to win this too. 65%, 35%.
I will just say here, like, thanks to all the people who are getting involved in the polls, but you are the most fickle human beings on planet Earth. I have watched this completely swing while I've been watching them today. It's like, yeah, Luminosity going to win this 70%. What's that Titan won the first map? Quick, get on there, hashtag, change my vote. Get wrecked. I mean, you people are unreal. Have the courage of your convictions.
Well, maybe they should turn the polls off once they start, too, so you can...
But don't talk about turning the polls off, because...
Get rid of the polls, yeah.
It's annoying. What are they really contributing? Making up the numbers.
Polls, so many polls.
Is it
like
too late
Twitter
to repackage?
The package is breaking apart.
Nah, never.
You guys had a really good conversation about the actual package and what it meant on your By the Numbers podcast.
Stop alluding to the word package. You got to actually explain what it means. That's good. The package and what it meant to you, and why you were going to keep a hold of that package for a long time until you got what you were waiting for in the end. Yeah, okay, Scott. We just meant ourselves.
I totally
understood that. A bit lascivious there, Scott. I don't know what's going on with it. You knew
been hanging out with you guys too long. So I think the map's about to start again. Final thoughts on Cobble.
Like I said, unfortunately for my prediction, I think it means Titan's going to take it. But if Luminosity can dig deep, I think they'll win the series.
Titan are in position. This is their chance. Who cares what happened on the first day? It's the same team you're playing now. You can eliminate them now. You can get through into the top 4, which you badly needed, and have a chance to play against Virtus Pro.
All right. There you have it, gentlemen. To the other gentleman upstairs, Henry G. Saticus, take us through Cobble.
Yeah, thanks so much, Scott. We will do our best to take you through Cobble, but I'd rather the teams took us through it and we just talked about it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be better. So, we're going into it. It's going to be Titan starting on the T side here of Cobble. Obviously, the less desirable side, I'd say, but in recent form recently, a lot of teams have actually been taking more.
Recently.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
That was a fantastic
it doesn't really work, but we're going to go with it anyway. So 4 sets of armor purchased for Titan here. It's going to be existence on the utility play as well. Looks like they're actually edging towards long A. Steel's going for the face, gets absolutely blasted there, goes down to 13 HP, and he's going to have to run away with his tail between his legs. Shocks comes in with the kill onto Bolts as well.
Yeah, so Steel and Fur back toward the A site will give up all that room for Titan to move. They've actually wrapped back through danger, and they want to head toward B because they think they've done enough to cause a rotation. Problem is it's such a long rotation for they and themselves to go back toward that site that the CTs will easily be able to do the same. Cold's been waiting out toward KFC. Your favorite place, Henry, in toward that B site right now. Shocks is going to get down past the platform. They're going to Molotov out Cold, but he's in the open and undetected. He's able to get one. Fur's going to line up the second, but Cold goes down. It's Smiths that gets the shot immediately after, and Steel and Fur have a combined 16 HP. The majority of which is left with Steel. Sentences are really hard, Henry. You cursed us.
Yeah, we'd had a rubbish start here with words and talking things, but there it is. Scream doing a very decisive job there, gets his second kill of the round, and that was actually a really nice play from Titan. They go towards long A, find that headshot, find a kill as well, and get themselves in good stead here for the first map, getting that pistol, but against Luminosity, it seems to be their kryptonite here as they go forward, because they actually seem to get ecoed every single time they go into this. So obviously it looks like Luminosity will be forced buying into this once more. Fallen with the scout in hand. The rest of the guys with upgraded pistols and armor as well. Fur, interesting enough though, not going to get armor himself, just a CZ in his hands. 3 SMGs for Titan as they make their way towards long A, just Scream with the AK-47. They're going to have 2 players towards long A waiting for them. The crossfire being set up, but Shock's not messing around here. He's scouting out for information.
Decent crossfire set right now from the CT side. That's spotted by Shock. Still gets the kill, though, is Fur. Exactly. And then they fall back. There's no one in a position to trade. We saw Na'Vi punish Titan in the games this morning. The same thing. The pistols were split 3-2 at a point, with 2 of them being ecoed against Titan.
As soon as Shocks goes down there, his teammates should be coming in. They're already committed at that stage. Go in and get the frag back straight away. You've got the man advantage there. Get those 2 kills. Even if you lose 1 more, still a 3-on-3, and you have the advantage going forward. But here we go then. For waiting for Scream to come through these doors. It'll be a huge frag.
His gun barrel is shown. Fur's going to take the shot. They do decent damage. That lets Fallen close it out. But now he's getting surrounded because they've pushed out from long and in toward the site behind his position. Bolts rotates early, gets toward the balcony. Not in a good enough position, or at least with anyone in the open far enough to hit the shot. It's going to leave it in a 3-on-3. No kits on the CT side. They're looking to commit toward this regardless. At least sticking around to see if they can take down any further Titan players. They've managed to at least get RPK, and now they will flood over the edge of the balcony. Now they will go toward the site. That leaves Smith's in the position where he has to come up big with the AK, because if he goes down now, at least they could get on top of the defuse early. And now Existence is left so far away from it. If they can win the battle, is there going to be time enough for the defuse?
I think they've got it as well, you know.
It's going to be close. I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be about 2 seconds right now, and I think they do. You're right. Cold's got it.
Oh,
it is
that's
going to be
so
defused.
close. Again, Titan losing out on that second round is going to be so gutting for them. It seemed that they've recovered the round as soon as the bomb get planted, but it's getting swarmed by the CTs there. The pincer from the balcony and connected doors just doesn't seem to work out for them. And again, it's that first kill. It's so hard to watch. Shock's just by himself. Why are they not using the buddy system, Matt? Why? Just when you're facing it by yourself, you're committing to that angle. Have your teammates ready to get in. If you go down, they need to be ready to go in and get the frag back straight away. Hard to watch. Difficult.
One team in France is the king of ecos, and the other is the king of getting ecoed.
Every single time we watch these guys, it seems to happen. But we go into it now. Round number 3. They're going to be force firing themselves. RPK, that sawn-off shotgun. Cold Zera boosting up onto the upper platform with the MAC-10 on the other side of that smoke, just waiting. Looks like an execution coming in from Titan as well. Some key smokes to be thrown onto the bomb site. A couple of flashbangs, and here they go into the site now.
It's a really tight position for Cold to hold as well. Scream, Shocks, both going to come through. Cold able to take down the first. Scream's looking for the follow-up. Smith's, he's inside the B site, but he's yet to find a kill. They've played so passively at that drop position that even though he gets closer toward that statue, he's still going to go down. And now Scream is left in a 1-on-5. Steel on 4 HP. He won't even come into the fold at this point in time. It's just going to be Scream pretty much awaiting his death. He may do well to get one player down, but it's not even going to go that far.
So the force by amounted to absolutely nothing. They're not even able to find a single frag. The best they did was take Steel down to 4 HP, but he's going to survive as well. So now you would assume Titan don't really have much choice but to do a full eco here going forward. They can maybe justify 1 or maybe 2 PD50s on Smiths in existence. That'll be about it. But Luminosity getting themselves back in the driving seat here. They get the 3rd round on the board as we enter number 4 here. 2 AK-47s picked up from that last round, so they're going to be very thankful for that. There's going to be PD50s across the board for Titan there, making their way towards the A-bomb site. But to spot some of the players there, still going to be committing to this long A area as they make their way towards danger as well. Going to pinch him here. This dangerous position for him as he takes down Smiths.
Furry hat, that's another good push. We saw him get that kill on the eco. It means they can't split back, they can't wrap around and catch him out. Bolt is just going to take the face, he gets 2. Existence does get 1 in the meantime. Bolt goes on to 3. If he hadn't picked up that second kill, it would leave us in a 3-on-3 position. But as you said, that smoke coming out to conceal Fur, he would have been able to walk back through it. It's not like they had much movement.
Now we have 2 players remaining. It's going to be Shocks in existence. About 40 HP each. So not really much they can do here. They're so far away. Shocks is the only one with any position of sort of control towards drop down. But the CT's playing so passively here. They're waiting for them to make their move onto the bomb side. Not going to give anything away. They know money is going to be a huge factor here. Shocks in to see that M4 on the floor. He fancies a bit of that. He picks it up. Won't be able to make anything work with this. If he can find 1 kill, potentially maybe able to do something. As his teammates on the other side of the map is existence, waiting for rotations. He actually spots the shoulder of Fur there.
He may let him go. He may just let him go. In fact, he wants to hunt the kill, but he has the bomb. If he could actually just let him rotate and run it toward A, there's 25 seconds. He's got to commit. Now with Fur down, it's going to pick up a second gun to work with. We saw already that Shocks has been waiting, conniving inside of that drop position, and when he walks out, it all falls apart. It seemed brilliant for him to wait that long. With the second kill coming into play, it might have been possible, but Cold is going to get 2.
Yeah, he had to do something magical there, and unfortunately for him, manages to 1 kill, but they both die. And we go into the first real gun round here. We can see Titan now full AKs across the board. Not too much utility though. Going to have 1 Molotov and 4 smokes to play with, but in the other court we've got Luminosity, Fallen picking up the AWP, going to be pivotal here going forward. He's actually going to decide to go towards the B bomb site. A lot of teams actually tend to pit their AWP on A, so I actually like this. We know Fallen can be very aggressive and go close range of his AWP, so what's he got in store for us this round? Frenchmen make their way out to the upper platform. I'm going to be smoked out for now, but going to be pushing through that scream, going to make his way up to the platform as Fallen gets the first frag and takes the bomb down as well. Huge kill for him to take.
All right, bomb is going to get flung forward again inside of the site. RPK going to man up, try and grab it himself, going to throw it onto the site so he can go for the fight. Let the second man in deal with it. He doesn't want to be part of the responsibility. Instead, he wants to get the kills, and it won't work in his favor this time. Shock's able to get one for Titan, but Steel's right there to answer it back. Scream, well, that was short-lived as well.
Yeah, pretty basic round there from Titan, just trying to do a standard B play there. Smoke the upper platform, work your biggest fraggers out there, in this case Scream, and it was unfortunate for them. Existence getting taken down through the smoke with the AWP, drops the bomb into no man's land there, and they really have no choice but to commit at that point. So another clean round for Luminosity brings them in favor of 4-1. Titan now no choice but to bring another eco to the table, so they've got some P250s. Tech 9s in the Desert Eagle. This round shouldn't be going any further than maybe 1 or 2 kills before they get taken down. So, going to be heading too fast into it. Cold Zero is facing that upper B platform, seeing if we get anything. Going to smoke them out as well. So that's actually a really nice play for them. Going to slow them down for another 15 seconds.
Shock's smoked off, as we mentioned. Steel, he's going to wait it drop. We've seen RPK in reverse for Titan yesterday play very well in that position, considering they didn't win the map. We saw him also play it quite well this morning. So watch for that when we do swap over in the half, but in the meantime, it's going to be Steel to hold it. He's going to be far more passive about it. He's going to allow these pistols to drop in, but that's because Cole is waiting in the window, and no one shall pass. Screams inside. He'll fight at least on to grab an AK-47, but surely it won't be a round secured. It's just going to be a battle of prolonging this. And they're going to come from all angles, all approaches. Fur gets the headshot, and it's Luminosity now with a 5-1 lead in the map.
So hard to watch Titan after winning that pistol once again. We didn't want to see it happen just because it's happened so much in this series. They get the pistol, they lose the second round. It seems like it's going to be a huge mistake for them as they go down now 5-1. Change of pace for them though. Smith is going to pick up the AWP, so you'd assume he's going to go face towards long 8 and try and work out any sort of picks. If there's any aggression shown from the CTs. Fallen went to B last round. We'll be doing the same this time as well. So not going to have a heavy stack towards B this time. This could actually work out in Titan's favor, considering they're sending 4 men towards that area now. Going to have one player towards the top of mid. Smith's actually in the tower. Don't see that used too often these days, but he's in the sniper tower at the top of mid.
Yeah, this is actually really weird. You never see this used, and this is when you know that they're expecting some sort of push out toward A long, which they aren't going to do. They're actually just going to sit tight toward. They've gone for that boost in the corner above danger as well. That's commonly checked. We know that, but right now it's not going to come under threat. It may not even be shown on our screen because there's no point. Everything is over toward B, and that's where Fallen waits. AWP toward that hen house. Doesn't matter what I call it, KFC or hen house, they're both dedicated to you.
KFC works. It's nice, it rolls with the tongue hole well. Do that.
All right, we'll stick with it. RPK, meanwhile, looking to go down that drop room. They have Molotov'd off toward the window as well as smoked on the main archway, so that does let them at least get inside of the room. But they'll be tightly confined by the fact that LG has a passive rifler on either side. Steel since turned his attention back toward the long position, spots up the shoulder of Scream. That'll put him back on top of the site, but it also indicates that he's further away from that position where RPK wants to enter. So down Steel goes, Fallen with one on the AWP. He's going to have to buy his time a little bit now because it's such a spammable position. He's going to just try and sit where the wall is the thickest, but he's waiting for bolts to come into the fold. That's exactly the play that he needs to do. Get toward the statue, and Fur, he's also going to get aggressive. They've limited Titan's options. They're trapped on the platform, and unless Scream can hit one of his magical headshots, there'll be no chance out of this fight. He's gone. Shock's the last alive. Fur's going to follow it up, and it is going to be yet another round for the Brazilians.
Pretty boring to watch from Titan, I have to say. They're not really bringing anything to the table in terms of tactics here. Just hoping their key players find those frags on the upper platform, but Fallen playing is so well towards the back of KFC there, as he's just dodging and weaving. They're expecting to spam him through the wall, the paper-thin walls we normally talk about, but using there's one pillar in that wall, behind that area, we can actually not take any damage there. He played it so well, baited them out for so long. Rotations came in, there's only 15 seconds remaining from at that point, and there wasn't really much left for them to do. So that's going to be, what, 6 rounds in a row now for Luminosity. Clean set for them, it's going to put them onto full bonus. It's a full rush B coming in now for Titan.
Shot initially does damage from Fallen, but it's not a kill secured. It's Cold, meanwhile, the drop down Shoxy, and they haven't planted the bomb. In fact, they've got forward with it. Shox died toward Cold's position, so he just has to hold the angle. And Scream's managed to at least get one kill back, but he's going to, again, have to play his one-tap position. He said yesterday in an interview he's gone back toward that style of play, and it shows there, but Steel was far too quick on the flank. And once again, the Brazilians secure another round.
I was actually more positive than most of their gun rounds there with the Tech 9 Quasi-Buy coming in, managing to get 4 frags down, bringing it down to the 1-on-1. Obviously, Scream unable to capitalize towards the end there, but that's actually a lot more interesting to watch than previous rounds here. Let's see what they can bring to the table this time. Shox just deciding what he's going to buy. This time, he's going to be on the AWP, so they're trying every single approach they can think of here. Fallen actually swapping the AWP over to Steel this time, so he's going to be over towards B, so maybe a change of stance for them as well. 7-1 in favor of Luminosity as we go into round number 9 now. Shox going for that pick, that's massive from him. Steel almost gifting it to him. Didn't really need to go for that face, but there it is. They're going to the 5-on-4, and now all of a sudden the CT's on the back foot. There's Titan trying to gain positional control of long A here. We're going to be waiting for them on the other side of this smoke.
Bolt to look to be a little bit more aggressive down at the bottom of middle as well. He's since fallen back and unorthodox from Fur. He's going to play stage right of entry. And if they have any chance of using a flash, that may be their best hope, is Fur can just sit and wait. He's actually going to take the peek himself, but meanwhile, it's back toward Bolts. This is a really good crossfire. Look at how aggressive the CTs are playing. All 3 angles are covered off. Smiths is able to find Fur, so now that's their best rite of passage toward this site, but this crossfire is still going to come in. Bolt is able to get 2. Shox goes down. And did they spot Cold in the death cam? Absolutely not. He takes the bomb away from them yet again, turns back, tries to find Smiths. And the trades, they just don't stop. And in the end, it does, fortunately, for Titan's sake, favor them by 1, but Fallen may be able to sneak through this smoke. Smiths is looking toward it. Fallen still wants in, and he's going to drop the bomb again. 30 seconds to work with, and it has to be recovered from Scream. And Fallen, very smartly, is going to switch over to the rifle, get rid of that AWP so he can be more viable in this one-on-one situation. And Scream, in typical fashion, gets confident. He doesn't go for the bomb, he goes for the play, and it's going to pay off. Titan pick up another round.
Nice play there from Scream, kept his cool, didn't go for the plant straight away, wanted to see what the play from Fallen came in was, but they managed to capitalize after a great start. They're still getting taken down by Shox towards the bomb site. That was a great opening pick there. I feel like they didn't really have to go for that face on the upper platform. They had such control of the game, but there it is, the second round on the board for Titan, looking much stronger that round, as working long A really did work out for them, clearing it out properly and making sure they actually used the buddy system, getting the frags back as soon as they went down there. So round number 10 now. Fallen back on that AWP. This time, it's going to be towards the top of middle, so a change of setup for them once again. Just going to leave towards that long A area, and he's going to get confrontation as well as Titan make their way through the smoke.
Scream's going to wait on the inside of said smoke as well. Fur, we've seen him win in this position twice already. Third to be a charm, or an absolute nightmare, because if Scream can get this kill again, they've just reset the round loss bonus. It would favor Titan massively. That's just a pre-fire, that shot. But it does scare Fur into hiding. He's gone back toward the A site. Not only that, he gets the information from them.
The problem for them still is Fallen at the top of middle. In a great position to get a couple of frags here.
Oh, watch Shox. This is interesting. They're not going to commit still. Shox late is going to go lurk. Watch for him to get down drop, because now he can cut off the rotations. They're getting the kills as well, so he'll be in prime position to catch off everyone. Fur's gone at the entrance of the site. Bolts is the last to rotate, and he knows now what's up. He knows that he has to watch this drop position because they're going to go back for the save. They aren't even going to go for this. It's interesting that they're going to leave Steel by himself in that situation, though.
They're actually, I think they are just trying to work out where is the rotation towards B. They haven't really shown their hand yet. Steel's going to have confrontation towards the A bomb site. Gets the first kill, takes down Smiths now, brings it to the 3-on-3.
This is super interesting because Cold's gone back over toward B. Shox is gone, but Cold, for whatever reason, still seems to think this isn't a good situation for them to be in. He's so far from the action, and his teammates actually brought it back to a 2 versus 2, and suddenly he changes his mind and goes, okay, wait a minute, I've got a kit, I've got a rifle, let's go for this. He could still force the issue away from Titan, who now have good post-plant positions, and Existence will hold the angle toward the connection point that exactly Cold wants through. He's not exactly peeking it, so he'll get at least a few steps in, but he goes down in the end. 2 members survive, and Titan will get 2 successive rounds and be able to buy guns again this time.
Saw this earlier today with Shox in this more lurk style on Cobble. He's going towards drop down. It's kind of similar to Envious in this style. Happy going towards that area. 4 of his teammates go towards A, and then Shox is trying to give information in terms of footsteps. He can find a kill towards drop down as well. It's great. You can see them trying to work out what was going on with the CTs there. CT's not really sure where to commit to on the bomb sites. Left one player towards the back of A. He got 1 kill, but it wasn't meant to be, as Shox came in for the rotations and took them down. They get the 3rd on the board now. This round will break Luminosity if they get it, so things to play for here. Titan in a great position to get a couple of rounds on the board, so slow things down. Once again going towards long A. It's actually an area that's working out for them pretty well as they get to the end very quickly as well. 1 minute 20 to play with. Could go for an execution. Going to be walking out clean with the AK-47s.
And they hire to line up. It's the well-timed peek from Fur, but he doesn't find a shot. It's Bolts instead who does. Either way, the advantage still remains. And he knows that Smiths has gone hiding in the corner, so he waits for the re-peek. He may go down in the end to Shocks. He does his best to dance away from the bullets, but that buys enough time for Steel to come around and take him down. It's going to now be 8, and that's a very important round because both teams were so fragile in the economy that if LG had lost that, suddenly the half becomes something like an 8-7 possibility.
Absolutely.
Instead, now it's going to be 8-3 and back to pistols for the French side.
There. Then Titan get all the way towards long A, and they thought they were absolutely home and dry. Smoking off connector, made their way out, but double spray down coming in for the M4, completely locked them down, discombobulated the team. You can see they weren't even sure where it was coming from, just got completely torn apart in that situation. It's a massive round for Luminosity to win. It's going to force Titan now down to the quasi-buy. Got some Tech 9s, some armor, and a couple of grenades as well. This time, making their way towards drop down, it seems. They've got one player towards bottom of middle. It's going to be Smiths just waiting for to push through potentially, but let's see what happens as this execution looks like it's coming in now. From the French side, is they're going to be pushing forward towards the B-bomb site.
And the smoke's already set to go in from Titan's side. Smiths, he's going to play the off-site lurk. This time it's not going to be Shocks. He's waiting for Fur, and Fur slowly pushing out from long, so that's something to keep an eye on, because if that goes the way of Titan, it would be one less rotation, but rotations don't matter if you don't have anyone to take the site initially. As the bomb goes down inside the connection point, Cold and Bolts will swarm upon it. Smiths has now made himself known. He's actually managed to take down at least the first player toward that bomb site. Cold has to wait behind the door, and Smiths regrabs this. That's a really interesting play to pull this back in their favor, because this was dead and done. LG had control. Instead, Cold now has to take down both. He's got the AK, manages the first, but he's low on HP. The shotgun prevails, and it's left to Fur. Shocks, is he going to get aggressive? Does he take the peek? Either way, it's Fur to win the round, 9-3, but they made it close.
Yeah, Shocks is unaware of first position towards the end of that round there, and took the risk, went through connector, hoping to get towards the A-bomb site. Gets found out though, and an eco round they potentially could have won there, falls out of their grasp. As we're going to number 13 now, that quasi-buy looking a little bit questionable now. Obviously, they didn't have enough money to really buy into this round, so all to play for, but Titan, I would say that's a little bit of a mistake on their behalf. As we're going to number 13 now, falling once again with the AWP. He's going to be top of middle once more. And this long A area, it seems like it's where Titan like to favour their bets here. They actually go a lot faster this time. Fur takes down Smiths, and there's no reply. Where is it? There it is, finally. Scream replies against the 4-on-4 situation, but so much information gathered for the CT. You can see them rotating over towards the A-bomb site. Once again, Shocks towards that drop down, listening out for rotations. Cold Zera gets himself in a great position on the upper platform, just locking that down. Yeah, by getting a lot more aggressive, he can actually relay information. It's not quite obviously the same effect, but it's similar to Banana on Inferno, where if you can get a little bit more aggressive on this B site, they can afford to rotate early. Bolt stays a little bit more passive. He'll watch drop from the window, and therefore Fallen and Steel are quite comfortably planted on the A site. Meanwhile, though, Titan's gone back toward Cold's position, and we'll see if by default they use a Molotov, the one Molotov they have in the hands of Shocks, to try and force him out from underneath that archway. Existence has already placed the first smoke. Cold's going to flash in, but they're not Shocks. He's not going to place that Molotov. Either way, he goes down. Cold, that's a bit of a whiff. Either way, Bolts gets the kill immediately after, but is that going to cost them? Is that going to be too much to allow Titan toward this bomb site? 33 seconds. RPK goes down off-site. That's Steel to win it, and now they'll know this is full commitment onto the B site. Shocks goes in first. Bomb right behind him. It's in the hands of Scream, but they've got to act soon. 23 seconds left for him to try and get the plant, and now it's all up to him to do so, as he's lost his teammate and best friend in this duel. Shocks, he's going to try and just hold this to get the money. It may go that far. Fallen's in a good position. Scream's going to fight out, goes down immediately. We talk about this being one of Titan's better maps here statistically, but their approach compared to some of the more methodical teams and teams that have great tactics on this, like your Virtus Pro, for example, they have all the set smokes, and that's a real opportunity to get the bomb down and work something out of this. It seems like Titan, all they really have is clearing out long A, and then hoping they make the frag, so they go back towards B. Whenever they go towards B, it's really almost sloppy as they go into the sides here. They're just hoping they find the first frag, all jump down together. They're not really isolating anyone on the bomb side. It seems like pretty easy frags for the CT team here, but they need to work on this. They need to have the executions. They need, like, a lot of teams don't like to have the set plays on these maps, but sometimes you need to do that just to even get out of the upper platform and make sure you can split the bomb site correctly.
RPK is going to go to the shotgun, as this is getting out of control. 10 rounds already for Luminosity, as they try and fight back into the series. Keep in mind, if you're just joining us, they are down one map already, losing on Cash. in a pretty convincing fashion, has to be said, considering yesterday they took that 16-6 against the same opponent. Bolt's going to play from statue, a longer angle, uses the smoke and flash to cover his position to try and get closer to the action. Meanwhile, RPK, when he gets that drop, uses that shotgun to great effect. He takes down Cold, Fur responds, and so does Bolt. But Scream's still alive, 1-on-3. Mullins there with the AWP.
So we go into round number 15 now. Score is currently 11-3 in favor of Luminosity. Once again, Titan not a great amount of cash to go into this one. They can have some AK-47s, get a little onto Scream, and you can feel like this one is not going to go in towards their favor, because it seems like Luminosity is firing on all cylinders. 4 rounds for them in a row. Looking very strong here. It seems like Titan are a little bit lost on this map on their T side. Unless the kills affected them a little bit, it seems like they don't really know what to do. And this time, a much more aggressive stance from the Brazilian side, pushing straight up towards middle. Going to make it into that connector area as well. It's going to be Fur behind enemy lines, gets punished for it, and now that's the kill I'm talking about. Gifted towards Titan, and now Fallen gets one back. It's going to be a difficult position to hold here. If he finds a kill here, that'd be absolutely unbelievable. Smiths takes him down, and surely a round going in favor of Titan this time.
Bolts is going to walk back in toward middle. This could actually work out because he's on the flank, and Steel, he's already doing damage on the front side. Bolts is going to get them both with the A1, and Shocks again. Suddenly another 1-on-3 position. This time he does get the first kill. That's better than Scream went in the last 2. And rather than get overzealous in the approach, he's going to grab the bomb and immediately. And he's actually thinking about going back toward B, but realizes that that may not be the best option because he's lost track of exactly where Bolts has gone, and he was waiting for that. He's back toward the courtyard statue. Cold's going to be the one that comes into play when Shocks goes into this A site. It's effectively going to be 2 1-on-1s for Shocks. And if the bomb goes down, that's a teammate in the form of time that he can work with.
This is absolutely fine though. So LG are allowing him to plant. They want to make sure it's a 2-on-1 situation instead of making it 2 1-on-1s. Make sure you stick together and then pins from at the same time. And here we go. This is actually going to come into full effect now.
Shocks gets over toward the balcony side. He's going to hold on to the bottom of it, but Cold's still there. And like you say, they allow that plant to come in so they can play it in a 2-on-1 situation. It pays off as Luminosity will go not only 11-3, when this bomb's defused, 12-3 at the half.
I'm just a little bit let down by Titan's T half there. They seem to have one approach to the map completely. That was just going towards long A, and they didn't find a pick there. They didn't seem to know what to do whatsoever. So disappointing for them after winning the pistol as well. They get anti-ecoed once more, Matt. Like, how many times is that going to happen for? These guys seem to wake up and not allow it to happen. Like, it does happen, obviously, in CSGO. The meta just suggests most teams will force buy in the second round, but for it to happen convincingly every single map we've watched throughout this tournament must be so frustrating for them. And now they've only got 3 rounds on the board. We've got the scoreboard up here. Cold Zero leading the way, had a great half there. 17 frags for him. Shocks is the only one doing any still damage there. Scream as well with 11, but yeah, it's a disappointing half for Titan.
Interesting for Bolts as well, 16-6. He has the best KDR, but not only that, has the highest ADR, so he's helping out his teammates considerably in each round because he's killing off at least one opponent per round, essentially.
Pistol going to mean everything for Titan going into this one, more than ever. It's going to be difficult for them to close this one out in this series on the second map with this current scoreline, but definitely not over yet. They do find the pistol, and at least get it to 12-6. They have a fighting chance on the CT side of Cobble.
Yeah, absolutely. Cold also won four 2K rounds, 1 3K. There hasn't been that many 1vX situations really to read into. No one's pulled out any more than the other. The Shocks and Scream were actually in the most of them, but they went down in those 1-on-3s considerable times. In fact, the only one we saw that Scream won was that one where he got aggressive when the bomb, he didn't go for it, he took the face. But again, I mean, this is ridiculous that Luminosity is able to control this much on their CT side. Yesterday, that was the side that struggled for them on this map. Yep. So now they're going to go over. We know they're an execution team. We know that they can bait out utility, sit back, and then hit extremely fast. And yesterday on the B site with smokes, they were very convincing.
I just don't see a world where Luminosity aren't taking this map, I have to say. Like, this is just, look, guys, tied up already. Titan need to make at least 6 rounds there, in my opinion, to actually have a fighting chance there against Luminosity. Their T side, like you said, so formidable. They've got such a huge track record to play out of. They can do so much work here with the set smokes going down. Fallen's AWP potential as well. They're going to sit back, watch out what's coming in from the aggression at the start of the round, and just pick apart the CTs going forward. But here we go then. We're going into the second half. Luminosity 12, Titan 3. Pistol going to mean everything to them going forward. Very difficult to win these CT pistols, especially when it's such a map. You're spread out so thinly. Normally most teams will spend 4 men towards that B bomb site and try and lock down the rush. But the mind games have been real tonight. Let's see what they can do here.
Yeah, big round for this Titan side. Any hope that relies on having a comeback in this game starts right now And they're going to go for the stack up on the B site. Shock's going to get aggressive on A to confirm that that is exactly where the opposition will be. But the problem is, that's where they're not. He may run into this Shock's. If he goes even one step further, it's not just further he'll be doing battle with. It's 3 members down below. Instead, smartly from LG, while he's preoccupied, they're just going to rush. And now Shock's hears them going, so he calls for the rotation. But they have to get the kills immediately from Titan's side. Smiths is able to get the first one onto Cold. And essentially, they're surrounding the site where LG is trying to occupy. Bolts gets 1 kill onto Smiths. RPK gets back into Bolts. Bomb, therefore, is dropped behind the truck, and this favors Titan. Scream's going to get the next kill, and it's all down to Steel, who manages a brilliant shot, at least on the Shocks, but that's all he'll get.
Well, there's a lifeline for Titan going forward. Luminosity going for that fast A play there. Shock staying alive, manages to find a frag as well. Allows enough time for the rotation to come in. They capitalize and get the 4th one on the board. Obviously now putting himself in a precarious position. Can Luminosity do it again? They're going to be forced buying with the Tech 9's head armor. And presumably they'll get some grenades as well. Fallen, obviously still deciding how he's going to approach this one. He's going to get smoke and flashbang. He opts with a P250 to give himself a little boost with those grenades as well. So, more to play for here. Tyson know how frustrating these rounds have been for them. So, stacking towards that B bomb site once again. Shock's going to be alone towards A. They make their play out to the upper platform as well.
Yeah, and inside that smoke though, Bolts, he was a sitting duck. That slight gap, it gave him away, and Existence will win with that FAMAS in that particular situation. Fur, he wants to find the drop room, but that smoke is very aptly timed. And RPK, we haven't seen the MP9 much this weekend.
No, we haven't. Well, we're going to see it this time. RPK holding that weapon towards the drop-down room. He's been very strong there today, especially against Navi. He was locking that room down so well. But there it is. Steel gets the headshot onto Shocks, brings it down to the 4-on-4, and they're going to show their hand towards the drop-down as well, make their way to the B side.
That MP9 doesn't actually do anything to help out Titan. RPK goes down to Cold, and now Scream, knowing the situation, knowing that drop's gone, has to fall off toward the long angle. He can't just sit at the top of the ramp. He'll get surrounded. He'll get swarmed from all positions, and either way, it's still Steel to get the kill. It's the UMP with the shot. Smiths comes back in toward the site, but it's already occupied. He knows Cold's below the balcony. Good rotation from him. Good accuracy, and he's got that first kill at least. Low HP on 2 players in front of him, so over to the pistol he goes. It's up to Fallen to hold them off, to keep them out of position. Either way, Fur with 1 HP picks up yet another kill, and Smiths another 1 on 2, and another eco round. Could it possibly happen again? And they're going to take the bomb to B. This is a great call from Fallen.
Yeah, even if they lose this round, they get the bomb guaranteed here. But this is a dangerous plan for Fallen. Climbing in the open, Smiths is going to see him as well. Will he be able to find this kill? It's going to come down to it. He takes down Fallen. Now for 1 HP.
No kit. No kit. He can't actually stick this is the problem. If he wants to stick it, it's 1 HP versus 2 HP. It doesn't matter who's got what. It 2 gets the first shot, and that's what Smiths will do. And this time he'll allow the defuse. I'm actually a bit surprised that he peeked that early.
Well, obviously, with lack of intel, I'm just assuming that Smiths would have a kid in that situation. He goes for it. His position was given away. So, runs through the doors of 1 HP. Not really much else he could do there, Matt.
Yeah, I think it would have been about 6 seconds that he would have got on it, so the death cam wouldn't have spotted that it was a fake. Because if they had that information, then they could have actually just sat back and played time, knowing he wouldn't have a kit.
So that's it. Titan get through that round with the skin of their teeth there. Very interesting stuff as Luminosity now with the Tech 9s once again. They needed a huge amount of damage in terms of money to Titan, but they're going to have enough to get rifles back into this. Luminosity not going to have armor here. Just a couple of flashbangs, smoke grenades, and Tech 9s once more.
Bolts is going to get boosted up. Just look toward that long position for anyone getting aggressive on the platform. It's his responsibility to not only spot it, but do what damage he can. What little damage we save from that range with pistols typically, but it is a Tech 9. Let's not forget Flash does force RPK out. Not only that, pushes Existence back in toward the rock. So passive hold now on drop. They know that they've made it down, so they just need to make sure they hold the angles when they do enter, and that's exactly what they do. Smiths with the second kill to make it a 5-on-3 situation. Fallen flashing out, desperate to try and find a way into the site. Does at least get toward the alley. Now they can focus their attention on Smiths, who's still waiting toward KFC. And if he goes down, maybe potentially get a bomb plant on the statue as well. But that's not looking likely because look at the rest of Titan. They're getting impatient toward the front of the site, and they're actually going to push RPK. He takes down Fallen. It's left to Bolts. Not much he'll be able to do from this position, and it's given up as well as he turns back and tries to do damage onto the exiting RPK. It's Existence to get the kill.
So finally, Titan do it. They get 3-0 after winning the pistol here, and this is where things get interesting. Fallen can pick up the AWP if he wishes, but it will be the glass cannon. So finally, Titan with the advantage going into this gun round here. If they can win this round, it will mean everything, pushing Luminosity to an eco, giving themselves a real fighting chance of going forward. What kind of setup are they going to be going for? No, all for themselves, so it's just going to be Shocked once again towards that A-bomb side by himself. Normally RPK comes in and rotates once the initial rush is dealt with towards B, but this time Luminosity sending full 5 players, it seems, towards the B site, going in for a very fast play indeed.
And Smith is blinded up. He has to find a kill immediately, but he's overwhelmed. That lets Fur find the first one. Fallen following it up, and Scream tries to flash himself around that corner, knowing that they've got to at least go for a plant at some point in time, but it's not right now, and utilities will continue to fade away. It's shocking to see LG play this so fast as we speak about their tactics at halftime, but Shox is going to be forced further and further out of position. Fallen gets that kill. Scream comes back in. Not surprising he can pick up at least 1 kill from this position. But they need to read this. As they put the bomb down, that's going to leave them in a very open position, so Cold very well to hit that shot because it could have turned quickly into a one-on-one if not.
Yeah, what more can you say about that round? A simple B rush coming in from Luminosity, but it's so controlled, staying together in a tight little pack there, getting off the upper platform as quickly as they can instead of waiting up there trying to work any picks. They force the issue, take the game towards the CTs in a really convincing fashion as well, because they found those entry kills and the Famises just weren't enough to hold off the Brazilians there. But Titan will be force buying into this round. No kits, 3 Famises, a few round of grenades as well, but 4 players towards B once more, and it seems like Luminosity were doing more of the same, making 4 players towards B, but not going to be rushing it this time, just going to be looking out for any aggression the CTs will be bringing towards them. They're not sure what the buy they're going to be playing against just yet.
Smith's managing to get in between the Dance of Fire, the 2 sets of flames. He'll keep most of his HP as a result. Minor damage as he walked through, and that allowed him to put out the smoke to delay LG this time. And from fast to slow, this is what you, not to actually talk about, this is what you can do to try and dictate how those utilities are used from the CT side. If you set the tempo extremely fast, then Titan get in the habit. Exactly. They have to put out the utilities early to shut that down, and then you slow it right down. Those utilities are gone. You execute in the last 30 seconds, and that seems to be more the case this round. Steel's actually going to just push forward and see what he can find on the off angles aggressively, and manages to find Shox. Fallen, he follows that up as well, so now they've got 2 early kills. Scream has to hit that against Fur, or the round's effectively written off.
That's going to be a round over, I'm afraid. It's going to be RPK and Smiths with Famises and no kits. Only have an Incendiary to play with. Smiths goes down, just going to leave RPK in a horrible situation, 4-on-1. He's getting pincered from all angles here, just stuck in this area. Really not much he can do. May find 1 frag before it's done, but that's the one. Position definitely given away now. Coldzera lurking in behind him. And you think he's not long for this world.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
A force buy as well. Means Titan have literally no money going to the next round. This one meant everything to them. RPK doing some decent work here, doing some economical damage towards the T's, but that's about all he's going to do. Actually brings it down to a 1-on-1. No kit, had no real chance of getting the round on the board, but did well to stay alive if he can. Getting an AK for his troubles as well. Steel coming in to try and finish off the job, but there it is. He does get taken out eventually, but gets 3. But not going to amount to too much here, as the money for Luminosity is still in a very decent position.
What it does actually do, though, is force such a heavy reinvestment that it will force a save out of Luminosity after 1 win.
But this is the thing, how are they going to win this round when they've got literally no money themselves?
Again, just saying, I mean, effectively they were out of it at that point anyway, so him getting that many exit kills does mean that if they could pick up an eco, we know it's not impossible. Yeah. It buys them, rather than playing for overtime, still a chance to play into the game. It's a long way to go, Henry, but
it meant something,
positive.
But it's just not a lot here going forward. 4 teams played 6. They've only got pistols to play with now. This would be a round for Luminosity to throw away. Fur making way onto the upper platform now. You can see Smith just beneath him as well. Existence going to be joining the party. He gets spotted. Now Bene's going to rain on top of them.
Fur actually jumps up on top of this platform, so they are going to get a little bit more aggressive as they fall back. Smiths tries to re-peek it, but very quickly shoulder checks to see if anyone's up close rather than on the longer anger, while Bolts is now playing. And all while this is going on, Shox and Steel are just waiting out toward Longs. Shox looking to get a little bit more information, but Fallen does find the first kill. It's Scream to go down, and Fallen, he hasn't even dropped, he hasn't even committed, so getting that early pick means they can actually take the option wherever they like, back toward A should they choose, and that seems to be exactly what they're doing. Watch Shox's position, though. He's going to come in. He's in early. He's actually blinded them up. He hasn't hit the second headshot. That nearly turned out to be a double kill for him. He's still May with this pistol, but not to be. Steel walks back in with the AK. And the rifle does win, as it should do statistically, but it became far too close for comfort. Either way, it is now going to be map point for Luminosity.
Yeah, this is pretty much over at this stage. Once again, Titan have no money to invest into this round. Going to need so many rounds in a row to even have a fighting chance of taking it to overtime. So whether it's worth expending the energy at this point, it's probably just looking towards the 3rd map here. As Luminosity onto map point. Money in the bank as well. Should be a pretty straightforward process closing this one out, but we've seen stranger things happen. Shox picks up the Mag 7. The rest of the guys on CZs, Desert Eagles, and a 5-7. Luminosity make their way towards the B side once again. It's just going to be Steel in that lurk roll, trying to work out where the CTs may lie. First pick coming up the screen over the Desert Eagle. That's going to help. As Shoxy is able to push long A now and get that intel and tell his team to rotate over towards B.
Well, Smith is going to get pushed out of position. He's going to hold it. He still sits near the flames enough to take down Fallen, but it still doesn't necessarily look promising in this position. But they have picked up a second AK. Now it's looking promising. The distance will get Bolts, and suddenly the round turns. It's left to Cold. 1 on 5, 1 on, well, never mind. Gone already. 15-7. Still going to be an okay opportunity for them to just sit back. They don't need to force this too much on this C side. So even though they've got 5,300 on Steel, they might as well just save it out.
Absolutely. Somehow Titan with a full pistol by there and a Mag 7, but getting a completely clean round there. And somehow that works out for them. Very impressive stuff. Going to round number 23 now. It seems like Luminosity have invested in a sawn-off shotgun, some Tech 9s, and a P250 as well. Going to be making their way more towards the A side of the map here. Shox alone once more. Just keeping things a little bit more passive this time. Not going to be forcing the issue too much. Allow the T's to come to them. Into round number 23 now.
Steel's going to wait as well with the shotgun, looking for the option to run down and just take someone's head off with it. But Scream, speaking of headshots, that's his specialty. And now he's got 2. Takes Fallen as well. Existence onto Steel to close him down at the bottom of mid. Gives Cold a chance to get back into Scream, but not before Shox can take him immediately after. So it's 1 on 3. Cold with Bomb heading over toward the A site. Smoked off already from long. Flash, Molotov, he's going to stand inside it blinded, so already was losing damage before Shox got that kill, but they knew exactly what he was up to. And Titan will hit at least round 8, but at this point playing for overtime in a massive deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. Still so much to do here. Needs 7 rounds in a row just to stay alive and take it to overtime. Shox, if you're picking with the AWP, he likes to play long A with that orb. He can go for the mid smoke as well and go for the aggressive face, trying to get information at the start of the round. Looks like that's what he'll be going for. No orb for Luminosity. They're still on a difficult buy here. 4 rifles and a Tech 9. That's the smoke being dropped by Shox. Looking towards that top mid area. Doesn't spot anyone. That gives a call off to his teammates, so they will be going for the straight up B. Looks at that fast play coming in once more.
Bolt's already around the corner, has the Tech 9 out, trying to fire in toward that drop position, but either way it's Smith's to take Fallen. Smith changes his angle, and Existence is the one to get Fur, but he was there either way. Bolts is now limited in his options. They'll put a smoke out on the alleyway, may allow them to push forward should they elect to do so, but more problematic still, they haven't been able to find a way to get to the bomb site. And Bolts is in this aggressive position. It's a really unorthodox corner, and unoften that this is checked, so he may pop out at the right moment. He's the last one alive. He's got to be concealed, but Scream just turns and annihilates. 15-9.
A glimmer of hope map as they get round number 9 on the board. It is going to actually force Luminosity onto an eco this time. They don't want to force buy into this one, but it's actually going to be 3 in a row for Titan. They are fighting back here. Still a mountain to climb, but Luminosity still not too scared right now. They don't need to make any difficult situations. They just have to wait for the full money to come in. Going to be on an eco this round. Tech 9s and Deagles. So they'll be playing more towards the B bomb side once more. Titan definitely fighting back here.
Absolutely so, and Smiths will take now Bolts with that AK-47. Shox to fall, and it's pretty straightforward. Titan are playing so much better now that suddenly their back is against the wall. And remember, they did win that pistol with shotgun. Imagine it was a round sooner, and then they still have 14 rounds on Luminosity's side. As we hit 15-10, this could have been potentially 14-11, give themselves a chance. Either way, still a bit of a hole. I'm not going to get too excited until we see the economy break the next time.
2 more rounds you can get excited, Matt. Then you can start bringing in the real hype.
I have your permission.
Yeah. I want you to go absolutely sick with your hype. Got to bring this crowd into
do what
full
I can, Henry.
energy mode.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah? Okay, 2 more rounds. But here we go. Let's concentrate on this one. We're in round 26. Shox with the AWP. We'll be going for that mid shot once again. He actually may be able to spot a couple of T's here. It's flashed off. They have to fall back. And once again, the Luminosity side making their way towards the upper platform. Bomb's going to be no man's land towards middle. Showing the hand just yet.
Shox and Fallen are going to have an interesting role in this round as well because they're both looking for the information on the off-site. And whoever wins that battle will determine which site that the Luminosity gang want to try and take over and get the bomb plant onto. Still going to be putting the pressure on B as it sits right now, but there's a smoke in front of Bolts at long, and that means he's contained. And Smith this time is also boosted up on that tree position, so they haven't used this yet this game. And now, of all times, they will. Remember, this will limit the economy once more. It does go the way of Titan to open things up, but Cold gets the trade. That starts to favor them. Scream, this is an interesting pop flash. He sees them up close, but Bolts was wise to it, and now it's going to be the A split. It's all up to Shocks on the back of the platform. Finds the first. Fur drops the bomb. It's down on the balcony. They've got to commit back to it. And as they do so, they'll be confronted with two very angry Titan rotating players. Very smart from Cold to sit in the corner. He takes down Existence, but it doesn't matter. Titan, Smiths gets him back, and we may now have a chance to go to overtime.
Yeah, there's a timeout coming in from Luminosity. You can feel it slipping away. It's getting a bit dangerous now. They haven't got great money going into this next round, so they're probably going to work out what they can do here. So that A split, not really working out for them. They get the first pick, but Shocks is holding real strong on that A-bomb side. Finds the first kill of the AWP, stays alive, finds it over the Tech 9 as well. Looking like they're coming to life here in the second half. And maybe, just maybe, Matt, we have a chance of overtime going forward. You can see the percentages on your screen right now. Who will win this match? The crowd still favour Titan going forward, so 70% in their favour.
That one's at least been consistent.
Yeah,
so
at least they're not changing their mind rapidly as soon as they start getting...
Titan seems to have the more fans on Twitter. But maybe that's because in Brazil they don't use Twitter. I don't know if that's true or not.
You're just throwing wild statements out there?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Well...
The chat's probably filled with BR, 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 so that's where their support comes from.
Well, this round is going to be interesting. Obviously, Luminosity still do have a better round to play with. They don't need to force the issue too much here. They've got, I'd say, about 4K average across the team. Won't have the AWP, but I would say this, they do want to force buy this one. Looks like they're going to go for the quasi buy, actually. They're not going to force buy. They were. Let's go for that fast B again. That seemed to be very convincing when they got in there, but they're just going to be keeping their money honest, keeping around the 2K mark, getting some Tech 9s out, some utility, some smoke grenades, and then potentially try and get a few kills this round and then look towards the future as we go into round number 27 now. Titan doing a great job of fighting back into this one. They've actually got 5 rounds in a row. Kind of said it may have been over after that pistol round.
Well, that's how close the economy was. Again, like I said, if they had won that previous round, we'd be at 14-12 right now. Again, that's all theoretical. I'm not going to hold them to that.
Yeah, sure.
But that's how close the economy was. So we knew it was only going to take one round, and that's all they had left to play with when they pulled it off. Suddenly they've turned it.
It's getting exciting, at least.
A little bit. I mean, it's also getting tense if you're Luminosity at this point. Yesterday, you took this series 2-0, rather convincing fashion, and now today you're already down a map. You're in the same map pool, and Titan suddenly turn on the Jets late in this game. I mean, you've got to close this. They want to take this to map 3.
This is actually a really good time for Luminosity to take this pause, though. Just take the pause for as long as you possibly can. Let the adrenaline reside within Titan. Let them calm down. They're probably thinking, oh, you can get back into this. Just take the momentum out of their core. Just slow things right down. Get them questioning it a little bit as to what may be coming. Maybe they'll make the mistake in trying to adjust too much, overthink the situation. But here we go. We're going back into it now. Entering round number 27. Not going to be the buy from Luminosity this time. It's going to be the Quasi. Just getting some upgraded pistols, some armor, keeping their money at a decent level for next round. Fallen not investing heavily into this one, so you'd assume he's going to get the AWP out in round number 28. But here we go then. Let's see if Titan can hold on for one more.
Steel is going to lead the way with Cold toward that long B position. Already a Molotov placed out, so they won't be able to go through quickly with pistols. We've seen them be a little bit quicker with the pistols rather than the rifles on LG's side. And Bolt, the second those flames are extinguished, he's already trying to bunny hop his way on toward the platform. Again, Smiths is boosted. The nade, that's going to do decent damage. In fact, Bolts goes down to just 21 HP. That's before they even enter onto the site, but they've put up a wall of smokes. It's a very good wall of smokes, and this is what LG are known for. They get a bomb plant quickly out of this. This will buy them more money in the next round. Not only that, they've picked up 2 kills, make it now 3, and a force buy. Could it be enough to close out the game?
Oh, yes.
And what a time for a timeout. Cold Zero is going to wrap it up, but hats off to Fallen for putting that strat together. That was the most executed play they did all game, and we know they're an execution-based team.
Those are why their strategies are so viable. They didn't even drop a single frag on their quasi-buy there. That's really unbelievable. And that's the kind of round that Titan need to have in their bank. When things are going wrong and you're looking down the barrel of a 12-3 half, you need to start thinking, what can we actually do? The frags aren't working for us. We're not getting picks. Drop a round like that in. It makes it just completely confusing to CCs. You isolate them. They're not able to have those big crossfires going forward. And that's what wins Luminosity the game. They take the pause. Fallen comes up with the strategy, executes it perfectly. They get in, Tech 9's working out for them. Cold Zero picking up that first frag. And although the scoreline is looking pretty close there, I think it doesn't really do the game justice. That game was already over after the first half. It was just delaying the inevitable, I think. 12-3, seeing that Titan were locked out of their T-half, didn't really bring much to the table in terms of strategy, and we will be going to Inferno now to close this off.
Yeah, I mean, going to Inferno, this is the interesting thing. We haven't really seen a lot of Inferno this weekend. In fact, at the Major, it was one of the underplayed maps.
Yeah.
Seems weird because you go back about 12 months, it was still one of the most played, but Inferno for LG, for me, I've always said this, and obviously we're getting ahead of ourselves, but you have to control Banana. You have to have an aggressive Banana defense, because if you don't, they've got such a good Molotov execution with 3 Molotovs that cover off the entire left side of the B site that they will just walk in and take the entries regardless. But that said, again, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about this game first. To do that, we'll send it back down to the desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, there you have it. There you have it.
This tournament makes no sense.
Yeah. And now we have to analyse it again, and everyone's on Twitter going, haha, your predictions are wrong. What were your predictions? Same as yours, but I'm on Twitter.
Salty is a mother.
A little salty, maybe?
Obviously,
A little bit salty,
family
okay.
show. Anyway, no, look, this is what's been great about the tournament, and we saw a little bit of this in the major. Right now, the pro scene is obviously going through some mad state of flux. You know, calling results, very, very difficult. Teams are having this back and forth. They're taking each other's maps. I got to say here, the one thing that really leapt out for me for Luminosity, and indeed this is a feature of their play, they're really good with the timeouts. We talked about Fnatic and Vugo and what they were doing with the timeouts. Luminosity read the temperature of a game and went to break up momentum, went to get their own thing going, perhaps better than any other team in the world right now. They had a timeout super early, when there was like seemingly no, most normal teams wouldn't have done it, and then they've had another timeout there as well right at the end to get over the finish line. So great stuff from them, and just a great performance. Dug deep, still in this series, and as I said, now as we move on to Inferno, I'm backing them to win the whole thing.
NA fans take no. I've made this point in analysis desk before. When people tell me about NA stars, I start looking at the matches and I go, all right, let's see how this player plays now. Okay, good performance there, lets himself down on the next 2 maps. Someone like Skadoodle was one of the few consistent stars. Every major, non-existent. Think of the matches we've seen a Cold Zero play now.
Has he had a bad game?
I think he's played something now like, let me think, it would be like, I think he's now played 8 maps that we've seen. We've seen him at the major on 4. I mean, he's played more in NA, but we've seen him on major on 4, and now we've seen 4 maps here. Well, we would have seen 6 if we'd seen the upper bracket final. I mean, if he's played 6, 8 maps, this guy's having like 5 or 6 good games. He's dropping 25, 30. He's consistently one of the best players in the server. And it's not like you can say, well, his team's full of talents, and so, you know, he's in an easy position. No, he's getting relied on at the moment to be like a hard carry. It's between him and Fern at the moment. Actually, he's been outperforming first. So if you want to talk about stars in NA, until you've got someone who can match up like this against top European competition again and again at international lands, not in his own region at any point in time, let's stop having that discussion, because someone like this, he deserves to be called a rising star and a talent. All those things you label some of those guys, Elige, Taric, Nitro, but he's doing it game in and game out. I'm very impressed by this. I've got to say, I'm a fan of him at the moment as a player. I really want to see him play more. Yeah,
and you know, if he keeps going the way he's going, I mean, we're really going to be talking about him, you know, as being one of those, you know, potential emerging stars of the year. You know, is he going to be like the rookie of the year type thing? Incredible.
Might be a bit late for that.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
No,
but like, he's coming right in at the end, and you know, great performance at the major, only his 2nd major, and if they can maybe pick up a few more tournaments, a few more wins, who knows? But anyway, the thing I wanted to point out just up from the Titan side, since as we're feeling all generous, Duncan, we're entering into that festive spirit a little bit early, and we're being kind. I thought Smith's had a really good game on Cobble. It's the 2nd time we've said that now. He made a vital, he made a vital 1-on-2 clutch. That was the start of the turn of the tide when the bomb was down, and he made that clutch to get them sort of back moving with this momentum. He had a very good game in terms of the numbers that he did. Meanwhile, actually, you know, Shocks was there, sure, Existence was there. RPK had an absolutely woeful first half. I think he got 3 kills. And they only won 3 rounds. So that was a massive drag factor. I don't think maybe he's got to grips with Cobblestone yet. I think he's maybe struggling. But, of course, that was the T side. And we talked about this. The T side on Cobblestone is actually pretty weak, considering it's one of their go-to maps. They've got lots of homework they need to do if they're going to ever be a serious contender. I
mean, I said before, this would be a big help for Titan, not just to win the series, but they'd have a home map then. We can trust Cobble. You can't trust Cobble still. It's still all over the place now, who they play on it, different varying levels of opponent. You've got to give Smith's credit overall. He's now had a couple of good games today, especially, and in the game against Na'Vi, where he's winning clutches. That's not something you think of with Smith.
1v3s.
He's not usually that guy, you know. Yeah, he could open up around and get kills. He can get kills in the mid round. He can take op duels. These things he can do. He's not known as a clutch round player, but I've seen a number of big ones today. 1v2s, 1v3s, particularly that clever one he had with the Molotov against Edward on the same map, on A site, on Cobble. So even in a loss, he's had a good performance here. Heading into the 3rd one now, it kind of feels like Luminosity have gotten back into position now. Inferno is going to be much more wide open for both teams. This shouldn't be either favoured, I don't think, but I'm feeling Luminosity now. This is the team that rocked, quite in form in that game, Fnatic on this map at the major. It's a lot more shaky for Titan. I'm thinking that Titan's
So based on
got
my
three.
predictions, going bet on Titan.
Well, I'm going to get some more Inferno information out of you guys after the break. Last map is Inferno, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll wrap up our segment, and then we'll get these guys into the server.